we are on the Chip Lunch podcast. Just
Welcome
you
back.
and
Does
me.
it feel weird to not have Chris on?
Well, we had a break.
Oh,
Had a break.
We're
from
on
Chris.
a break.
We're on a break from Chris because he hasn't found another relationship he needs to make amends of on the podcast.
Next time. YouTube boxing match.
Oh, that would be pretty amazing.
Creative
Actually, reminded
clash.
me of a youth night. I think my second ever youth night that I went to, which was on a big inflatable boxing ring, and people fought each other. And then we had it later on at Soli's when we were in Soli's house at Guyman Anglican Church.
Yeah, we did it with like big inflatable sumo suits.
Yes, I remember
doing that.
I ran that night with you when I was your leader.
I'm saying I did one of those as a leader as well, like in this factory.
Yes.
So I remember which youth kid got a concussion. Shout out.
Shout out to CTE. Yeah,
Good
so
times.
we really, if everyone hasn't noticed, when we have podcasts, it's just the regular co-hosts all together, or two of us. We couldn't get a guest.
We haven't had one for a while, I don't think.
No,
One
we
would
did one on the 30th anniversary.
Oh, of course.
So that was last year. So
Yeah.
it's been a few months.
And it's episode 70.
Yes, it is. It's been a minute.
70. What's 70 years?
In dog years?
Jubilee.
Oh,
Surely it's a jubilee. Surely it's.
I think
What do you get for your 70th wedding anniversary?
70th wedding anniversary? Because that's how long it's going to be. And I'm married for, because I'm such a great husband.
Because you're so old. You need to look it up for
Here we
next
go.
year.
Here we go. On wedbuddy.com.
Reliable source of
Platinum.
news. Platinum. Wow,
A
that's an
precious-
expensive one.
Yeah, precious and rare metal that has long been associated with luxury and prestige.
Mm.
2 words that I definitely could attach to myself. Luxurious and prestigious. That's me.
Oh. Well, I always think it is fun when we get to jump on every so often, intermittently, with the OGs. Here
OG3.
since day one.
Yeah, OG3.
Yeah.
Right with my day ones.
Yeah.
It's like an intermittent fast. I fast intermittently on OG3s. That sounds like a real diet,
Yeah.
like MCT oil or something like that. I just have it every couple of months I do a cleanse with an OG3. Does that sound correct?
Look, sure.
Sure.
Whatever you want.
If you couldn't have guessed, if you're listening right now, we're not sure what to talk about, but we wanted to get an episode out. What about, though, it is a new year.
Yes.
Have you changed how you like to eat your chips?
Oh, look, we've had plenty of good suggestions, I think. We had Greg back on with the vinegar.
Vinegar, yep.
Obviously, English influence there. I think gravy is growing. I think, was it Jabish or Hudson was the first? I think Jabish was the first one to bring up gravy.
Oh, I don't know. I
remember.
don't know who first brought it up.
I'm sure someone will correct me.
In the comments.
Yes. I think, the local chip shop makes good gravy, and I think gravy's winning me over at the moment. I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, you're local.
Yeah.
Wow. So you just, but you're still having chicken salt?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We've got
Well,
that's a
I'm not
good-
getting out of hand here. Nothing crazy.
I don't think I've really changed. Plain
Yeah,
salt, tomato
plain
sauce.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Weng wins the craziest
worst.
suggestion of so far.
Yeah.
I like it though. It makes sense, the changing of the texture.
I like the uniqueness
Yeah, that's
of
true.
either ordering McDonald's chips late.
Yeah.
Ordering McDonald's chips so they get there cold and he eats them
Yeah,
straight up.
it's
Or
so
if he's got
cool.
if he's got chips that are hot,
Yeah.
putting them in the fridge. It's very I like it that Wang lives his own way.
Well, it's just cool getting to interview so many different people, obviously, across our church, and yeah, it's crazy to think that I don't know how many of these would have just been you, me, and Ethan. But so we've done at least 60 people. I don't think we've done 10 by ourselves, have we?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
no.
so we've done more than 60 members of our
Yeah.
church, and it's been pretty cool to hear obviously the chip question is the most important question, obviously, but the different stories have been really encouraging.
Yeah. I think you get to see how God has made everyone unique, but then he's also working in their lives in that unique way as well.
Mm-hmm.
And just even thinking about having Greg on last week, he's hearing his story and telling how some of the tough stuff that he's gone through and how he's relied on God and what that's revealed to him in his life. And I think that is the best thing about doing this podcast, is how I feel encouraged afterwards, that like we are all part of the same family, we're under God, but also like it's the same thing of like, you know, it says in Hebrews, don't give up the habit of meeting together.
Yeah.
We are meeting one-on-one with our guest, or two-on-one with our guest, but we're learning. I think we're also, as hosts, we're learning heaps from them. Like we're bouncing off each other as Christians, and you know, that whole process of sanctification and making each other more like Jesus is like, that's actually happening on the podcast, hearing people's stories. So
yeah.
hopefully that's how people, when they're listening to it, it's the same thing of like, and that is the intention of the podcast, is to hear other people's stories and really, in a long form podcast, of like giving people the opportunity to talk, because you don't, even sometimes you can kind of one-on-one, but even in other situations where you're in a group or at church or whatever, you might not be able to talk to someone for that long, and it allows like an extra depth to it, which is exciting and fun. I don't know if you agree or not, but
yeah, totally. And like, I think it's just, I don't know, I think it's really cool that we've got this hours and hours of like audio now of people talking about how God's worked in their lives, how they've grown and changed over time, and how they're trying to continue to walk the walk and run the race. And I think that's pretty encouraging to get to hear about the many different stories that are happening across different gatherings, across the other side of Sydney in some cases. And I think it's been really cool that lately we've also had people who've travelled a lot and have been to different places and ended up at Solly's. I think it's really cool to see how much God's sovereignty and plan, how wide reaching that is. It's been really fun.
And so I suppose, I mean, that's a good point to start off with as well, that we're talking about a new year. What, like, and reflecting on, you know, being part of God's church, God's family, what are you kind of looking forward to this year? I suppose that's my first question for you, because I'm the one that asks the questions here. Yeah. Anything in this year, 2023, that you're really looking forward to, whether it's personally or at church or even in your leadership role at church?
Yeah, I think for me, it's hard to look past the fact that youth group starts up again tonight for us here on a Friday, youth group and the Friday gathering and Fuse, which takes a break during the school holidays and obviously starts back up as school term starts.
School term has started.
Yeah, it started.
I can confirm.
Last Friday for some people. I don't know. It's been a bit all over the place.
I think the official start date for the term was Friday, but my children, for example, didn't go back until Tuesday. Yeah.
So I think, I'm very excited to kick off the youth term tonight. I don't know. It's another year. I'm very excited to see, I don't know what God does. I think it's always very exciting when every year we kind of have a few people that graduate and some of them come back as leaders and as light leaders and stuff. So we've got a few of them jumping back in this term and who are doing more stuff and running nights. And so I'm very excited to see. I love that. I love when you get to see people you've led for a number of years step up and get excited about leading as well. So I'm very keen for that. I'm keen for the Friday gathering as well. Like, we really had a fun year last year, and God blessed us with growth in numbers, which is lovely, but I think more importantly blessed us with a whole bunch of people who were keen to get involved and have fun and grow and learn together. And I think a big conviction for me over the start of this year is just my personal relationship with God. The fact that you can lead people as best you can, but it's up to them to have a personal relationship with God and with Jesus. And I think that's what's encouraging for me, is just trying to look after my own walk, but also try and stress the importance of the fact that we are Christians together, and we are friends together, and we will walk alongside each other. But ultimately, it's up to you how you respond to the grace that's given through Jesus. And I think that's pretty cool. It's cool to see people, especially younger crew, anyone, take it on for themselves. And I think we've seen a little bit of that over the last little bit, is a bunch of younger members of our church really getting excited to take up their faith for themselves and take it seriously, which I'm excited to see where that takes us this year, especially on Friday. And I think we've just got, I don't know, Fridays, if you didn't know, a big day. We do a bunch of staff work, and then that's like our big day with all the staff here at Soul Revival, and that goes through the morning. But then those of us that are doing kids and youth ministry, that then bleeds into the the Friday gathering, and then later at night with youth. So I think it's a big day, but it's my favorite day of the week. So I'm just like keen to get stuck in again.
Friday.
Friday.
You talked about personal responsibility and taking personal responsibility for our faith and our relationship with God. Can you give us any stories of what the young crew have been doing with that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Or any little stories or anecdotes?
Well, I just think so. I've been on college break at the same time as they've been on school holidays, which has been really lovely, and it gives me a lot of time to catch up and have a lot of more one-on-one hangs with people that I don't normally are much harder to organise or fit in when my timetable's fuller. So I think it's just been really cool to get to hang out with some friends, old friends, new friends, see where they're at and how they're travelling. And also, I think, so just for context, on this Tuesday, we went as a group and as some kids from youth and some parents and a whole bunch of people. We went to a concert for a band called Citizens, which are an American band from the US, and they came out and played a big gig, and we liked the music and they make great music, so we decided to go along, and a bunch of the younger crew came as well, and I think it was just very cool to see them having such a great time, and also just having a great time, but also with musos that were playing for God and playing to God, and excited that was the center of what they were doing. And I think it's really cool for 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds to have that opportunity to be like, wow, people, this is bigger than just our church. And I know that's sometimes silly to say, but I think it is a very big thing when you're younger. You don't really, maybe if you've grown up in a church and you're used to that context, it can be hard to look outside of that and see outside of that. So I think that was a really cool opportunity. And also just to see really talented, creative Christians using that talent and creativity to glorify God. I think that's always very encouraging for me when I see people that, have been blessed with talent, have been blessed with abilities, and then them taking those and instead of using them to glorify themselves or maybe to, make a lot of money or focus inward, instead they're using those to glorify God and encourage others to do the same. I think that's really cool, and I'm hoping, we have had a great chat with a bunch of them afterwards, and all the youth seem pretty stoked and we seem pretty stoked, so I'm keen to see where that momentum takes us.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
How many of you went to Citizens? It was a big
Lots.
group. Lots? You don't know?
I don't know.
Give us a guess.
Between 30 and 40?
Yeah, it's a big group.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, it was
making the band a lot of money. No wonder they want to talk to you.
Yeah, but at least you're supporting.
Yeah, exactly.
Christian music.
Yeah, I'm only joking.
I think it's pretty hard to make a living as a musician anymore, let alone a Christian musician. So
yeah,
happy to support.
So what I take from what you said there, the 2023 goal for yourself is just kind of really focusing hard on your personal responsibility or personal relationship with God, so that others do the same thing. Yeah,
and modeling and trying to model that as best as I can.
Well, can you tell that story about Ephesians, how you listen to Ephesians when you go to college?
Oh, yeah. So
talking about taking responsibility for your, talking to God and being part of it.
Yeah, in first year of college, we studied Ephesians in New Testament, and I guess I generally found I was listening to a lot of podcasts and music on the way to college, so I catch the train to Redfern, and then I walk from Redfern to college. It takes about 20 minutes-ish, depending on how lazy or whimsical I'm feeling. If I want to zone off.
I thought if you're whimsical, you sped up.
No, just zoned out and not paying attention to anything.
Yeah.
But I found that I can listen to pretty much the whole of Ephesians if I start when I get off the train at Redfern.
So you get off the station at Redfern, you press play, and it finishes when you get to college.
Yeah,
is that right? Wow, that's
roundabout.
cool.
There's a couple of minute it depends how fast I'm walking. But yeah.
Do you listen to it 1.5 speed?
No, but I do like the dude on YouVersions. I like the NIV dude, the spooky voice dude. He's got a good amount of reverb and authority.
I'm going to have to find it. Hang on.
Oh, you haven't? But yeah, I think audio, nothing really replaces reading the Bible. I think there's something very visceral about having a physical Bible and turning pages and reading text. I think there's something very important and nice about doing that, especially when you can sit down with, say, a notepad and no phone and no distractions. I was really encouraged by Elijah on his schoolies. When we took him away for schoolies, he was having his quiet time in the morning with a physical Bible and a notepad, and I think that's the best way to do it. Yeah, I don't think there's any.
Is that just because there's no distractions? You think?
I think, and you can really.
I think you try and absorb it. You absorb it
more,
all. Think and absorb it a lot more.
Yeah. There's more space up in your brain to think more deeply.
There's less noise.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really nice way of putting it. Yeah.
Is this the guy?
In your transgressions and sins, in which you used to live,
when you followed the ways
of this world and of the ruler of the kingdom of the air, the spirit who is now at work in those who are disobedient.
He can be a bit intense sometimes, but he's pretty
good. Among them at one time, gratifying the cravings of our
imagine listening. So you're listening to that every time you go to college. It's like, feels like it's a bit doomsday.
No, it's great.
It's going to all end very soon, which could be true.
Yeah, and I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, we're talking about quiet times and
pen and paper.
Yeah, I was encouraged by Elijah on schoolies doing that, and so I think nothing replaces pen and paper and sitting down in that analog way. But we can also, I like a lot of podcasts. So I like listening to people talk about stuff, and I think it's very cool to experience the Bible in a different way.
Yeah,
like having it read. Or you said you've been doing something that's been cool for you so far this year. Is you've been doing some of the kids stuff on YouVersion with your family.
So, as a staff team, we were looking at the verse of the day, which is on the YouVersion app, which is at the kind of, if you don't change your menu settings around, that's at the top. It's called the daily refresh.
And it's really nice to get to focus in on one verse, I think.
Well, yeah, I've actually been my quiet time recently. Is like I have a notebook, but I'm doing my kind of just devotional study, like Bible reading, like through that daily refresh, and it's quite good because they'll do one verse, like you're saying, but then they'll have someone talk about the verse, like a little devotional around it. But then they also have this guided prayer section after that, which like helps you actually kind of focus in on praying. And you can actually add different prayers from the devotional before, so it'll actually queue them up for you to go through that. So sometimes I find it a little bit like searching around for prayer. I like a little bit of structure around it, and then that actually ends up leading me to other areas. Same when I'm writing about what I've been reading, like I'll write my thoughts about it and then I'll write something else that's like that verse can influence that and different thoughts like that. But to your point, what you were saying was that there's at the bottom there's a kids Bible experience, which is very similar, but it's a scaled down version. And there's a lot of people that are working in kids ministry, and they do a little video, and some of them make some really funny, really applicable videos. So I've been doing that with my kids either in the morning or at night. And it's been really good. Like my son, there was one that was talking about kind of sin, and it kind of identifies that, it gives you like 3 different options to choose from after you've read the verse to focus on. So it says like, I'm going to make sure I'm not lying, or there's things like that. And so I do it with my 2 eldest, and my youngest kind of hangs around a little bit and sometimes engages in it. And so they choose one which they want to focus on, and then we can kind of have discussions about it. So we talked about what justification means one night, because that was in the Bible verse. But then 2 or 3 days later, my son's just like, "Oh, you know how we were talking about lying in the Bible study that we did?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah," and he's like, "Well, we've got these like dried pineapples," and I said I gave him the bag. So he's like, "Here you go, mate. Have this for morning tea or whatever." He's like, "Okay." He's like, "How many should I have?" And I'm like, I don't know, maybe 5 or something. He's like, "Okay." And then so the like 3 or 4 days later, he's like, "You know how you were talking about lying?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, I had 7 instead of 5 of the dried pineapples." And how can I be upset with you? I'm like, there's no way I can be upset with him. I'm like, you've learnt your lesson already. I don't need to do anything. I just said, it's all right, mate. I forgive you. I don't care. Yeah. And he's like, oh, okay. But I think that's just really special.
And I think that's really cool. Like we were talking about responsibility, and you're teaching them that your relationship to God and taking responsibility for learning and putting these things into practice. And then he's obviously gone, no, this is important, and thought about it. And like you wouldn't have known if he never said anything.
No, I wouldn't. So, like, I wouldn't have known. I don't want to cared.
Yeah, but I think it's really lovely to hear.
Yeah.
It's obviously sticking with them.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying it because the kids are, it's at the right length that they engage with it, and that's enough. And they, like my daughter usually says, "Oh, can I pray?" Like, because there's a written prayer there, so she wants to do that. My son usually reads the verse. We watch the video together. Like it's quite interactive. And there's also, I only just found it this week. There's also a kids Bible app as well, which is it's almost set up like a video game. Like you go to different worlds.
Oh really?
Stuff.
Oh, we can hear the music.
Yeah.
And wow, so it looks like Age of Empires or Mario Party.
And so we jumped. It's a bit loud, but we jumped from this. The first one that we did last night is Genesis, and they read through the first part of Genesis.
Yeah.
But it's like illustrated, and then you can also click on the different. You can click on the different. See. And if you go to the activity,
it's a little bit less scary than.
And you play it again, and you can actually like click on different things that happened and different verses, and it'll actually illustrate it. And like these are, so like there's the making of the earth, and then there's the making of the animal, or the making of the world, and then there's the animals, and then there's making of like creation of man and woman, and then you can click on different things. So it's really interactive and really cool. So anyway.
But again, like, I keep tying things back, but it's the same thing with I find with going to see Citizens. It's like people are obviously talented and creative and doing stuff and using that talent and creativity to help others get to know Jesus or glorify God. I think that's really encouraging. And I think like ultimately, like I can't code an app.
No,
but
that's okay. You can play an
instrument. It inspires you to then think of how in my life can I use what God's given me to glorify Him.
I think that's a really good point. And I mean, I think about that in terms of creativity sometimes. Like I went through a period of just thinking like, I mean, I used to think that like when you say, oh, that person's creative, it's like it's art, it's music, all that kind of thing. But I had a great discussion with one of the week aways a few years ago with Karen Roach, and I said, I've been thinking about this, what do you reckon? Because I was kind of just wrestling with it a little bit, and she's like, I think every human being is creative because we're made in God's image and He's a creator. I was like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's 100% true. He's created us with different skills, abilities, gifts, and it's how you use them to glorify Him. And you can still be creative even if you not doing something that looks outwardly supposedly creative.
People wouldn't necessarily think of like mathematics or something as a very creative endeavor, but you look at how it's creative problem, like it's problem solving. Yeah. And you're
create a solution.
Applying creative solutions to it. I think you can be creative in lots of different fields that are beyond just traditional creative arts or visual arts
and I think about that like even we're podcasting now, we're still creating something, and that's something that I enjoy doing. But as Ek will testify, I'm terrible at editing. He's so much faster and better at it than I am. Yeah. That like God's given him those gifts to learn that so fast and be able to do it. And I think that's what's going back to again. We said like we were all part of one family. Like it really encourages and it really excites me to know those things. Speaking of someone exciting and encouraging, it's just
so lovely.
What an intro!
What a great intro!
What an intro!
I've also got to leave in 10 minutes, so you guys can finish the pod without me.
Oh wow!
He's subbing me in.
Welcome.
Sub me in, coach.
We're kind of talking about 2023, Ethan.
Sick.
And like,
looks like it's gonna be a cool year.
What we've been looking forward to. We're talking about creativity. We're talking about taking responsibility for our relationship with God, and encouraging other people to do that, and how they're actually like we kind of talked about how they're working together. So, let's put him on the spot, Brayden. Ask him a real tough question that he has to deal with.
Oh man,
let's go.
I'm really carving.
How come you wore the same hat?
Soulrevival.shop.
Yes, that's exactly what I
Always
wanted to do.
plug. Should make this one in a different color. I don't know.
Yeah, we probably could.
This is a fresh one. This is one I had on ice.
Yeah, because
My other one got a bit gross, and I was continuing through because it's summer and I didn't want to get a new hat dirty, but Amelia McMorty called me out for my hat being too gross. So
did she?
So I went, okay, cool. I'll pull the spare
hat's
out.
not slaying.
Yeah, she was like, nah, that's beyond repair. That's gone. Game over on that. And so I'll take the criticism and the loving criticism, obviously,
and move forward.
Mine is also too gross, and I have one on ice that I have not whipped out yet because I'm just gonna.
You
make
pay
it
for that one?
It's Katie's. She paid for it,
okay.
and she just hasn't been wearing it. She's like, I'm like, I will take that.
That's awesome. 2023, Ethan.
Yes.
Anything you're looking forward to in particular?
Oh, anything I'm looking forward to in particular? I'm really looking forward to spending this year growing our community in a bunch of different ways. I personally am I'm a part of coordinating the young adult side of things, and I'm a part of coordinating the youth side of things, and I'm really excited to into those spaces throw in as much joy as I can, with the hope that from those spaces that joy expands into the rest of the community. And I'm really excited to see that happen. And I've been doing a lot of thinking about Christian biblical joy and how we can make Soul Revival feel like it is oozing that, and that it is that every time someone walks in, they go, oh wow, these guys are stoked on Jesus. And that's what I'm really excited to be trying to achieve through some of the goals or some of the things you may have talked about already. Through that, and most of that often comes from what we were talking about before about that genuine personal relationship with God. As you get to know God more, you delight in Him, and that's what I hope that we can try and be a community that delights in Jesus.
What are your thoughts so far on Christian biblical joy, as you termed it?
My thoughts on Christian biblical joy. One of them, I have a few, but one of them is that it is in the fruits of the Spirit. So when we get that cool list of the fruits of the Spirit, joy is in there, and so that says something really interesting. And it says to me that it's not actually about optimism. It's not about personal circumstance. It's not about how you're feeling, actually. In the same way that that Christian love and Christian generosity and Christian, like all of those things, you can be generous because it is you can be patient, and you can be all those things purely because God gives you those things, and so therefore there is a way to be joyful, even in hardship, even when you are not particularly prone to being joyful, because it is not just being happy. And it's not just being up and bright, but it is actually rejoicing in God and what He's done for us. Yeah. And so it is a reaction, actually, and it is a gift that we've been given, not a... I'm not saying let's walk into church and everyone's happy all the time, because isn't Saturday the best day of the week or Sunday the best day of the week because I get to hang out with people. No, it's actually these people are finding their joy in God and not finding their joy in elsewhere. Yeah. And that is a gift that God gives. And it's not just something that we can have.
Yeah, and that'll manifest itself in many different ways.
Fully.
Yeah, from like smiling at someone at church, you don't know, they might not have had anyone smile at them at all that week, to going and find a giant pink slug up a mountain.
Fully.
I think joy has lots of different...
is for freedom.
Oh, I'm trying to get
Joel didn't realise how cool
really? It's the best.
Is.
It's so good.
I'm just trying to get fruits of the Spirit read out. But keep going with what you're saying, sorry.
Oh no, you've interrupted.
No, you're doing it now.
It's lost.
I have to search fruits of the Spirit like Galatians 5, 22 to 23, but it would only bring up 22. I've got to get if you want to do the whole thing, you've got to do.
I don't know. We've got a pad time.
Thai?
Pad Thai, yeah. Can I have a photo of a pad Thai and then a photo of a Mount Capita pink slug?
Yep.
And
then put them together.
It
is a pad Thai made out of
the AI. Can you get that AI to draw Pink Slug anime, and now Van Gogh drew it.
Oh, Van
And
Gogh.
now can Joel have the chip ground back on?
Yeah, done.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
for those of you
I'm
listening,
I'm sorry,
so
Eck.
sorry.
And I think I called you,
So you need to
the other
listen.
name
Yeah,
as well.
so if you
You did.
listen,
Sorry,
you,
Eck.
you can
Put-
listen to this.
put
then
this-
you need to listen to watch it on YouTube
Yeah.
again.
Can you put this soundbite over the name I accidentally called you? Eck. There we go. Now it'll be fine.
He's got his work cut out. He always has his work cut out for us when
Only when it's us.
podcast.
Sorry.
Only when it's
We
us.
know
We've got to keep him on his toes.
we know
do.
his
We do.
true power.
We do. He is
Yeah.
a powerful man.
True power.
True power.
No one.
You got there?
Yeah, I'm going to read the hang on, I'll do it really quickly.
But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness,
Hang on, then I have to go back. I'm going to get it though.
gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law.
Oh, there's a real egg on my head. Generosity wasn't one of those, was it?
No.
No.
Egg-
Ignore
egg on
everything I
your
was
head?
saying about generosity.
Egg on your face or egg,
Egg on my
your head?
face. Egg on my face.
Egg
There was
on
an
my
egg
head.
on my head. bro.
Ignore everything I was saying about
I hit it
generosity.
in the car door when I was getting in.
Let's pretend I was talking about something else, like forbearance.
I feel like it probably
The way
fits
he
in
said
there.
I think it
forbearance
fits.
is
I think
very
it fits.
Forbearance.
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 Every time we say forbearance, Ek, could you make it that guy's voice saying forbearance?
Oh, that's so much effort.
I was waiting for a big no to appear on
Yeah,
the
There'll
screen.
be a
exactly,
point
no.
where he just basically says, I'm not doing any more.
Yeah, it's like, no, no, no.
But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness,
Forbearance.
goodness, faithfulness,
He almost sounds like he's bored reading them all out in a list.
I think the fruits of the Spirit can be daunting.
Mm.
I think it can be daunting when you look at that list and
Because you need to
feel
do all of them.
no, you feel like that's a lot. Like
Okay.
you feel like you fall short in so many different
Yeah,
ways. But then
yeah.
I think about some of the older Christians I've met, and you realize that it's a marathon, and you just see the way that certain things on that list just flow out of them, and I think that's very encouraging for me.
Is that how you feel when you look at me?
Oh yes, because you are so old. It is after all your 70th wedding anniversary.
You need to get me
Apparently
something
it's
with
platinum. Platinum.
Oh, wow.
So
is
if,
the-
if you married Katie, if you're married to Katie for 70 years,
platinum.
you got to get a platinum album. You got to release a
You gotta
platinum
release a platinum album.
album. How many albums is a platinum album?
Too many.
How many albums?
I think it's
So
also
isn't it
interesting that joy is the second one.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not that there's really a
Oh, is there a
there isn't a
hierarchy?
pecking order other than love. Love is the elsewhere it talks about, but above all these things we put love, because love is very important, and it is constantly throughout particularly the New Testament. It's constantly something that is put in high regard and high import. And as a Christian, that's what we're told to do and end up in. And out of so many of these things flows love. And because of so many of these things, we we love in our joy and our peace and our forbearance. And these things are easier if we love people. That is something we can talk about. But I think it's really interesting that that is. It says after that passage, it says, against such things there is no law. Those who belong to Christ Jesus have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires. Since we live by the Spirit, let us keep in step with the Spirit. And I think that's a really cool thing to be trying to do. It's not necessarily trying to tick all the boxes. It's actually just trying to walk the way we're supposed to be walking, walk in the direction we're supposed to be walking, in the steps we're supposed to be taking, and trying to do those things is not just in our power.
Yeah.
It is called a fruit of the Spirit, because it is something we're given and something that we get out of our growth in our faith.
Do you think that's also why Paul writes saying there's no law? Like it's like there's no earthly law against those things.
Yeah, fully.
So, but because it's from a heavenly law in a sense, or the outworkings of a heavenly God who's way more powerful, way more above anything that we're doing, any law, That's why we're able to do it through His Spirit.
Yeah.
Is it 100 million?
It's 1 million for platinum, I think.
1 million?
1
That
million.
doesn't seem like that many.
Let me see. Let me check. But I thought I saw it as 1 million. But
I thought 1 million to begin, but I feel like that was not high enough.
well, it's different in different countries.
Yeah, it's different.
of course
Canadian
it
is
is.
different to Australian to
the
American.
the US platinum is 1 million,
Yeah.
but in the UK, an album is 300,000 for platinum.
Oh, wow.
But then some people have diamond. If you get
Yeah.
10 million sales, you get
Yes.
a diamond.
There you go.
Yeah.
But Canada's 80,000 for platinum, 800,000 for diamond.
Because gold is lower.
I mean, like,
Gold record.
far be it from the musical industry for just doing the same thing. Why do they have different things? It's ridiculous.
'Cause America have to measure everything differently.
And you imagine like the whole UK guys like, yeah, I got 5 platinum albums. They wouldn't even get anywhere in the US. She's like my accent. Was that
It was good. It was good. Well done.
There's the guy from the streets. You know that band, the Cockney band. My gosh, don't you know it?
Oh, yes.
I have to head off. I have to do a school pickup. Do you guys want to finish off the podcast?
Yeah, sure.
Probably.
Sounds good.
This is probably what you've been hoping for the last 70 episodes, is to have me on and then kick me out.
We've been on with you playing it's not Angry Birds. Was it Angry Birds or was it Flappy Bird?
Flappy. He was
You
playing
were playing
something.
Flappy Bird once.
Probably
remember?
it was great. X Greatest Hour.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
That was glorious.
If you haven't seen that, the last episode we did, which was on the 30th anniversary,
Oh, was it the 30th? That was
That was very fun.
What
If you
an
haven't seen
edit to
it,
pull out.
check it out on YouTube. It's amazing. Yeah,
It's so funny.
we're still aiming for him to come on for the 100th episode.
Yeah,
aren't we?
it might be very short, and it might be blurred face and
Yeah.
voice changed, but
It'll happen.
it's
It'll happen.
going to be exciting.
Oh yeah.
And the way it'll happen, the way to make it happen is you to get in the comments
That's right.
and make it happen.
That's
Yeah.
right. Telling me. Anyway, you finish the podcast.
For
Gotta go.
100, Stu for 101.
Yeah, I reckon sounds good. Sounds
Anyway,
good stuff. All right, see you, Joel.
Love
see
you.
ya.
How long have we been talking for, and what are we talking about? Like, is
Well-
there anything else we need to talk about?
We talked about whether our chip preferences changed. I just said that gravy is getting more and more enticing
Yeah, I think
because
so.
Bird and Burger do good gravy.
I agree with this statement.
And Louisa and Jabish had gravy. Was anyone else mention gravy?
I don't know, but the
Yeah.
gravy. I want to add my ball to that court.
Yeah.
I think
Anyway,
gravy's exciting.
I don't know. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
I don't know. So how long have we been talking for?
I have no idea. I can't see the screen. From
Let me.
How long have we been talking?
How,
Damn, it doesn't answer in real time.
41 minutes.
Oh, that's fine. Well, 70 episodes in. It
So-
took 70 episodes to get rid of Joel.
Yeah,
Though we've done them without Joel. Well,
we have.
Put
We've
in the
talked about it.
comments if you want us to talk with anyone specific.
Mm.
It's pretty cool that we've talked to like 60 people.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, and I think what's really cool about this is there is opportunities for part twos,
Yes.
which we have seen
Manda
a few
part
of.
2. Hashtag Manda part 2.
That's it. There's still many people that have not come on. There are opportunities to
Yeah, if you
get-
want to come on, just say hi to Joel.
yeah,
Don't
fully.
say hi to me or Ethan. We'll forget.
we
But
have,
say-
and we also have no power.
No, Joel has all the power.
He has all the power.
Yeah.
I think we also have potentially an exciting opportunity to get guests on,
Yeah.
and talk to people. Like, for example, it'd be really fun to do whoever the guest speaker ends up being for Week Away. Like that kind
I
of
know
thing would
who
be
it
really
is,
fun.
but I can't reveal it because
That-
that would be.
That would be spoiler.
Could get citizens on. To message your best bud Zach.
Bro.
Chrome. What's the?
Oh my goodness.
What's the?
Oh my goodness.
Thingy called the.
Oh my goodness. This is going to happen. Get in the comments to make it happen.
Yeah.
Also, I can just try and send an email and see what happens.
Also, Tim Bilhars is still the highest viewed
Mm.
episode. So if you want to knock him off his throne, just watch. I don't know, Hudson's over and over again.
Yep. That's the way to do it. And then comment in Hudson's
Yeah.
that you want Eck to go back to every episode.
Every episode.
Every episode.
Please,
all
Greeks,
70
do
of them.
this. You're the only one that watches on YouTube.
All 70 of them. Go and comment Eck for episode 100.
Yeah. Because Joel won't listen to this.
No.
He's gone.
No,
He's too
gone.
important.
Yeah, he's too important. So
Anyway.
we need you to do this.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
For listening to us rant. I think it was a really lovely conversation that we got to have. And I'm excited.
I'm really excited to listen to the half of the conversation that I didn't hear.
Well, have fun with that. See you at episode
So right now,
100.
what I'll do is I'll hit rewind, and see it at episode 70. one.
Yeah,
Like,
very fun.
It's very exciting. And as now, that was enough of a conclusion.
Yeah.
However, potentially a better conclusion, and this could be edited out if it needs to be.
Yeah.
A better conclusion would be saying, "Hey, Ek, could you come over?" No, he's walking away. You just need to say one way or wrap up the one of. All right, he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
One way, guys.
One way.